Brian's a first-time caller in Tennessee. Brian, thanks for calling and holding there. You're live on the Hake Report.
Hello, Hake. First of all, I just want to say thank you for everything you do, man. You're awesome. I really like the stream, man.
Cool.
But also, I just wanted to call because I just heard the whole conversation about issues with like baby mamas and children and everything else. And I've been experiencing some of that for quite some time now. I called before to the Jesse show about my son before. I'm not sure if you're tracking any of that, but basically, and sorry if I sound tired. I've been working on stuff on the side, but anyways, yeah. So without getting too much into it, baby moms has always been like a barrier for me. She didn't want me to be in his life. I had to push to be in his life, put myself on child support, all that jazz.
Yeah.
I'm in the Army. I deployed, came back. My son looked like a girl. People refer to him as a girl, and he just kind of let it happen. Wasn't cool with that. Called Jesse. He advised me. He's like, listen, if he looks like a girl because of the hair, cut his hair. You're his dad. You have the right to do so, right?
Oh, so it wasn't was it a transgender thing, or he's just had long hair and looked like a girl?
You know, she tried to tell me that he was just proud of his hair, but it wasn't like that. To me, it seemed like more than that, and at the time, she tried to act like it was not that. But since then, since I cut his hair and since everything else, right? Because after that, he stopped. He didn't like the hair anymore.
Nice.
Right? Since then, he wants to cut his hair like Dad. Like I said, I'm an Army guy, shortcut, clean cut kind of thing.
Right on.
And but since then, she's married a transgender woman, or I guess a man.
Yeah.
It's a woman that became a man, right?
A female to want to be male. Wow.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's been kind of a weird just thing, and that's her new husband, right, quote unquote. But so.
And you never married this woman?
No, thank God I didn't marry her.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I was young. I was just out of high school whenever she got pregnant. My son's 11 now.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So my current issue is that so because of me being in the military, whenever I established parenthood, got child support and everything set up, I was in Texas, like in Fort Bliss, Texas. And since then, I've moved to Tennessee, which is where I'm originally from. And she lives here in Tennessee, and I've done my absolute best to stay in Tennessee because I want to be with my son, right?
Yeah.
And so the whole time I've lived in Tennessee, I've lived at basically East Tennessee, very far away from her. She lived in like kind of central to like central. No, I'm sorry, not. Yeah, I live in West Tennessee. I'm sorry. And she lives in East. She lived in East Tennessee, like in a city called Shelbyville, like 2 hours away from where I'm at. And then she moved a little bit closer, which was about an hour and a half, right? And that was a couple years ago. And she just recently moved, like about a month and a half ago, to the same city I live in, because that's where a lot of her husband's family's from. So they moved here. And my son's 8 minutes away from me now, right? So our parenting plan initially was like I only get him 80 days a year because I wasn't there, right? Like that's max.
Yeah. Huh.
But now that he's
and that's because you were in the Army.
Right, and I still am. I actually still am, and I'm actually getting out soon because I really just want to be here for him. And a bunch of other reasons. I mean, after the COVID thing, because I denied the vax the whole time, and they were trying to kick me out. They prevented me from being promoted. I mean, it was just crazy. Like it was just a mess. So since then, I've kind of had a real bad taste for the Army.
But can you get your benefits from the Army if you were to leave soon?
Yeah, I can now. Yeah. So they ended up lifting that thing, but I mean, I fought it. I claimed religious exemption.
Right on, man. That's cool. I respect that.
They denied it, and I appealed it, and my appeal never finished. By the time that they ended up lifting that like that requirement, I had already been in the middle of the appeal process. So I was good then.
If you were to leave the military, retire from the military, basically, right? Would you be okay with it if it didn't work out at all with being able to be around your son? Because it sounds like there's zero guarantee that you'll get your son back for the remaining 7 years that he'll be a minor.
Right. There's
so
no
are you
okay
with squandering whatever opportunities you may have with the military, financial wise, benefits wise, are
You
you
know,
okay with squandering? I'm calling it squandering just to call it that. I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but are you okay with letting all that, abandoning that for something that you said that there are other reasons, but this son situation may be for no reason at all because you may not even get anything
right, right. Oh
with your
yeah.
son.
Ultimately, I mean, so right now, you're right. You're absolutely right. I've been thinking about this pretty long and hard, and when I get out, it'll be 12 years. It's only 8 years till retirement. My son's only an adult for the next, or not adult, child for the next 7 years.
Yeah.
So really, like it's cutting it close.
So you
if
could go ahead.
if I loved what I was doing, I would absolutely say, hey, I'm sticking with the Army. It's a good deal, but I just feel like I'm kind of wasting my potential too. Just because I feel like I could just do so much more. Like especially like I want to start a business. I want to get out of the Army. I want to like work on my body. It's funny because I work as a counselor basically in the Army, and
Counselor?
It's essentially a counselor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the enlisted side, but yeah, it's a counselor in the behavioral health field and everything. And
So can't you do those things while being in the Army?
what do you mean?
Work on your body, build a business on the weekends or whenever you free time that you have, rather than thinking that you're gonna be able to change your life radically after changing your situation.
Yeah, the thing is, what I want to get into is that, and this might be, I don't know.
I don't necessarily want to get into the specifics of what you want to do, but can you work towards that? Since it sounds like you don't know for sure that you want to do that's what you want to do is leave the Army. Because you're talking about if it was something that I loved doing, but you don't necessarily have to do something that you love. You'll be in your 40s or something maybe at
I'll
20
be
years.
39.
You'll be 39 if you finish it out. You'll still be, if you make it to that point, because tomorrow's not even promised to you. You'll still
Right.
be a pretty young man. I'm 42. So,
Yeah.
you still have quite a life ahead of you if God gives you those years, So I don't know if you want to do something rash thinking that you want to change your outer situation, because that won't bring you peace,
Right, right. But I don't know. Maybe this is just a personality thing, but I kind of feel like I got to risk it for the biscuit. And I feel like the biscuit just isn't here with the Army right now for me. And then maybe I don't know, maybe I'm getting caught up in my head. I have a lot of family who have started their own businesses, and then I've just watched them grow exponentially over the years. And it's like, man, what am I doing? Like that kind of thing.
Do you have time to do something on the side?
Right now, no. Just because what I'm trying to get into is like it's like a window installation business. My dad has been working in it for years. My dad's also an illegal, so he can't start the business.
Right. I disavow that.
My dad.
We don't dox.
I'm sorry. What?
I said we don't dox here on the Hake Report.
Oh, my bad. Either way, I'm an anchor baby. I've talked to what's his name, the anchor baby. What is his name?
Nick, the American anchor baby.
Nick, yes, I've talked to Nick before. Yeah, so yeah, I'm an anchor baby, but and then the idea is to start it with my dad and my brother, which is probably a terrible idea.
Yeah, it may or may not be a bad idea, but it sounds like you're thinking the grass is greener on the other side of this when everything's fine. You're making money, you got a job, you have some influence on your son's life, and you don't know if you'll be able to keep that or not, but...
Right. No, absolutely, and I do.
In my opinion, when you don't know what to do, don't change it. You definitely should do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Do what you want, but do what you see to do. It's your life and your son's life and whatever else. But my inkling is that you're not sure. So when you're not sure, probably stick with what you're doing.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm moving forward as if I'm getting out, but I still haven't taken a few steps that I need to
Are
take.
you fat or fit? What do you mean by work on your body?
No, I'm absolutely fit. I'm not a fat person at all.
What do you mean by work on your butt without being too specific then? You mean bulk up even bigger, or what do you mean by work on your body?
No, I'm sorry. I think you misheard me. I said I'm trying to work on. I'm moving forward as if I am getting out. Basically, I don't know. I'm not fat though. I'm gonna just tell you right now. I'm not fat.
Okay.
But,
did I mishear you when you said you wanted to work on your body?
I think so. I don't think I said that.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah. I completely agree with you. You've absolutely read me like a book. I am completely unsure about what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's fear keeping me from it, because I don't want to have fear, right? Like of the unknown. I don't know if it's like the fear inside of me that says like, hey, this army is a big safety blanket. You've been doing all right so far. You can write it out. Or if it's one of these things that's like holding me back. Like, so it's a really weird place I'm in, and I really hope to kind of get out of there.
Well, stay with today, because you're worrying about tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with today, and I get what you're saying. You can take false comfort and be lazy in whatever situation, even if it's the situation that you're supposed to be in.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So you don't want to do that. You want to
you're right.
do what you're supposed to do. In everything, do it as unto the Lord. The Bible says something like that.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's funny that this is like what we're talking about, because this is not what
the chat is saying you did say you want to work on your body.
Come on, Bob. Maybe I messed up. I don't know. Maybe I messed up.
But
I think
it's all right. It's all right.
Okay.
Maybe you want to build a body of work.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm trying to get swole, but that's
okay.
That's different. Like, honestly, like if I could get on roids and it not be a thing, I'd do it. But I also know health concerns.
That's funny.
No, but the real reason I called.
Okay.
I'm sorry, this went way left. The real reason I called is because, so right now I'm currently having issues. Right, so my son just moved 8 minutes away from me, and I whenever she moved down here, like my son and his mom moved down here, I was like, hey, I'd like to spend more time with him, because right now I'm only getting every other weekend. So Friday to Sunday, and I bring him, or she picks him up on Sunday. And
that every other weekend makes for 80 days a year or something like that?
I don't even know if it does.
It's sort of. Yeah, because think about it, 52 weeks a year, 26 weekends. Half of that is 26 weekends times 2. I don't know. You're right. I don't know. Never mind.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I really have no clue. Math is not my thing. But so I was like, okay, well, why not just do like what I've seen a lot of people in the Army have, and a lot of people who are divorced or like have kids, like out of like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're split up, right? A lot of people do 1 week on, 1 week off. I could easily do something like that with my son. And I've already had so many concerns about like the kind of upbringing he's having with her and everything else. And there's just a lot of stuff about her that I don't like specifically. And it's not because I have hatred towards her. It's because I don't think that she's raising him to be like a strong man.
Right.
If anything, I feel like she's raising him to be like a very weak, meek kind of man. And I don't want that for my son, because I know he's not like that naturally. Like naturally I see him, and he's very like very alpha naturally. You know what I mean? When he's and sometimes that gets him in trouble. Like that, you know, he has a mouth on him sometimes, and different things like that. But he's very sure of what he wants when he wants it, right? And so anyways, I talked to her about it. She's like, hey, I was like, hey, can I do this 1 week on, 1 week off? She never responded. So when my son comes over, and it's been like over a month, and I'm like, you know, I'm still seeing him every other weekend. So I talked to my son. I was like, listen, son, you know I live down the street. If you want to come over more, talk to your mom, see what she has to say. I'll talk to her too, and I want to see if we can work something out, right? Without necessarily going through because we have to go through mediation and court and everything if we want to officially change it. And really, I'm not interested in doing that. I just want to be with my son.
Yeah.
And long story short, she shot everything I've said down. She's acting like I'm being selfish, like I'm trying to pull him away from the house. When he was at my house, he was telling me, yeah, I'm 100% down. I want to do that, Dad. He goes to his mom's house, and initially he's like, yeah, I want to do that. she calls me with him on the phone, and then she's even explaining to him, well, your dad's not very responsible. Your dad this, your dad that. And I'm like, that's crazy. That kind of sounds like you're talking smack about the parent, which I'm pretty sure is like against our entire parenting plan, but whatever.
Yep.
And it's just been like she's been reaching at straws, trying to find excuses. Like she's mentioned absolutely everything that's not relevant, like what I'm doing on my time off, because it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And I don't know if – so recently I've gotten her to agree – not even agree completely because she wants to be super vague. But ultimately, like she's acting like it's his choice, even though I know it's her choice because she made the choice a week ago.
Right.
And she just now said, well, we're going to take things slow, but we'll see, right? And I said, okay, cool, as long as it's his choice, though, right? Because she keeps pretending it's his choice. If he says he wants to stay an extra day, is it going to be one of those things where he stays an extra day, or is it going to be one of those things where it's her choice, right, where she has to think about it, right? Like, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. And it's not that I want to hold him here hostage. I just want him to have the opportunity to be here if he wants to be. If he doesn't want to be here, he can go home.
You remind me of Kanye West.
I am a Gemini.
you messed yourself up, and you messed your son up messing with that woman.
Absolutely.
So whatever. If the boy is not strong enough to not to be manipulated by her, you can point it out to him gently and then drop it.
Right. Yeah, no, you're absolutely, and I'm glad you mentioned manipulation.
Because that's what's happening, and there's nothing you can do about it. You lost him already.
No, you're probably right. You're probably right.
And all you can do is not worry about it. It's like with my caller David from Norway. He's all worried, the vax and stuff. Worrying is of the devil, so you're of the devil influencing your son if you're worrying.
Right. So this is
where be a
conflicted
man about it, and accept.
No, I'm trying, but this is where I get conflicted, right? Like, that thing where like you protect your son or your child from the mother. Like, I kind of feel like that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm a little bit like in between.
The way that you do that is not by worrying.
Well, I'm not trying to. I'm just trying. So whenever I speak to her, I try it, and I know I sound like I'm trying to just like stuff like years worth of stuff into like a quick conversation. So I sound panicked.
I know, but you are worried about it, right? Is it true or false that you're worried about it?
Yeah, I'm worried.
That's the poison that's not going to protect your son or you.
Yeah. No, you're right. Huh? You're absolutely right.
So that you got to deal with that. I think personally, my impression.
You're right. You're right.
And you can call. Have you talked to JLP for counseling?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. You should look into. You can call in right now to the office number as soon as I hung up with you.
Yeah.
If you're interested in it, either by Skype or by phone or in person, and it could be just you personally, or you with your son, or you with your your son's mother, if she's open to it. I doubt it.
She'd never agree.
Or whatever. And you can schedule either a half-hour conversation with JLP through Bond. It's affordable, and it may be worth doing if you want to talk in private or call into the JLP show if it's not too private. You're familiar with the JLP show, obviously, right?
100%. Yeah, I watch all you guys.
So the number,
the whole network's awesome.
The office number is easy to remember. It's 800-411-BOND, 1-800-411-2663.
Mm-hmm.
Or just the local number, 323-782-1980.
Okay.
323-782-1980. Can I bring on a guest, another caller with you regarding your Army situation?
I would love to hear it, yes.
All right. Daniel in Texas, you're on with Brian in Tennessee. Are you there, Daniel?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for having me, James.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brian, you were talking about, how are you?
Doing great.
How are you? Okay. You were talking about whether or not you want to stay in the military or get out.
Yes.
And my this is my total and complete unsolicited advice. I was in the military. I did 11 years, and during that time, I had been in and out, and I had been in and out about 3 times over. And I saw many people come and go. I saw many people in the exact same boat as you. And whether or not people get to that 20 and get that retirement, or do 30 and get a retirement, or do 17 years and have the retirement pulled out from under them, or do 20 years, get into some sort of trouble, and then never see a retirement. I've seen very high-ranking people lose everything in the final stretch, and the bottom line is it's all a gamble. I've seen very good men in situations that were totally out of their control. I've known people, they go to prison for things, and a lot of these things are in their control, but it is a big gamble. And I guess the point of me saying all this is, at the end of the day, worrying about it isn't going to change anything. And I think James is right when he says have a wait and see attitude with it, because if they want to get rid of you, they will. Like they won't even bat an eyelash.
Right.
So just let them do that. And another thing is, if they catch a whiff that you're just not into the whole thing, they're going to get rid of you.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So, and I know that there's a lot of people that they fly under the radar and they get to that 20, but you know, a lot of that comes down to luck, and they know it. If you ask any of them, you know, how did you do that? You know, how did you? And if you have a heart-to-heart with a lot of these people, they will say they got lucky.
Interesting, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So as long as you're there, you should commit yourself to your work, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, no.
Appreciate that.
Sure.
Take care,
Sure.
man.
That's all I got.
All right. Bye. Brian in Tennessee, good to hear from you, man. Call again
Awesome.
sometime.
Thank you, Hake. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Take care.
All right.
Bye.